I'm Scott.
I'm Ben.
And this is a review. On today's episode, which is episode 17, we'll be reviewing Tully. Tully stars Charlize Theron as Mom. Watch as Mom has a third baby and struggles with having a baby. Ben, what did you think about Tully?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, there's a disappointing lack of story here, of a progression.
It's a lot more of a
it very much
slice
is
of life.
Yeah, it's very much in the tone of that trailer, all the marketing. It's basically that stretched to about 90 minutes. Here's another one of those movies that we've encountered this year where, they're barely 90 minutes long and they
drag on a bit.
They drag a bit. I certainly was fidgeting into my seat during this a lot more than I was in Avengers, which is a nearly 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Because there's really not a lot going on here. This is very
So
one note.
The movie starts off with Charlize Theron is pregnant and she's kind of dealing with her son who is obviously on the spectrum or has some sort of autism.
Yeah.
They don't ever say what it is. And it seems like that's going to be a focus of the movie, but it's not. It's just
it plays in the background. It's just sort of it's like the B story, if you could even.
Well, and it kind of just drops.
Parcel this story. There's not a lot going on here, so it's even hard to be oh, the B story is son with possible autism disorder. Struggles with being a parent of a child on the spectrum. Really is just sort of a thing that kind of just bounces in and out.
Yeah, it comes up kind of at convenient times. And the real only plot point that there's to speak of is
the night nanny.
The night nanny. So yeah, her brother, played by Mark Duplass, whatever. He's rich and hires her a night nanny as a present for the baby, who basically is coming in to take care of the baby. Who's the actress that plays the night nanny?
Mackenzie Davis.
Tully. So she plays Tully.
Yep.
And basically that's
she's the hipster chick.
She's like a bohemian. Yeah.
Her introductions, she's walking in wearing
a belly shirt,
high-waisted jeans, one of those crop tops.
Yeah. And she's
and rocking it. She's one of those girls.
But she's also overly bohemian to the point of everything's about. It just works out. Everything's about the galaxy, and this. It's just it's very eye rolly.
It's a little Instagrammy. It feels a little hollow at times.
Yeah.
You need to self-care and blah, blah, blah. And it's
it's very on the nose with how she's written. I felt which is how she's a millennial girl, 20-something girl, bohemian chick. It's okay, we get it.
She talks like she's always about to cry,
and she's always got some brilliant nugget of wisdom to lay down.
Oh yeah, she's a walking game of Trivial Pursuit. She's got
that's
oodles,
true.
She's got oodles and noodles of facts and factoids ready to dish out at a moment's notice.
And that's pretty much the rest of the movie. It's just Tully and Charlize Theron kind of going out and doing their thing and getting to know each other and bonding. And the thing is there's always this undertone where you're waiting for some big twist.
A pivot,
yes. And while there is a pretty sizable twist in the last literally 10 minutes of the movie,
it's too late.
It's too late, and it also doesn't really change the events. So, okay,
nor the paradigm of the space we're in, really.
Yeah, let's spoil this movie because it's I don't care. So the big twist at the end in the last 10 minutes, Charlize Theron gets in a car accident and then she wakes up and the nurse is basically asking her husband, who's the guy from Office Space, right?
Ron Livingston,
yes. Who's a real dork in this movie. She's like, does your wife have mental illness? And he's like, no. And you find out that there was no night nanny, that Tully is Charlize Theron's maiden name, and that she was basically hallucinating a younger version of herself as the night nanny.
But what a bit that we're missing out on is that this night nanny is almost like this miracle worker who is like being productive and like baking cupcakes for her kids at school,
cleaning the house at night,
and doing the house.
And the husband, Ron Livingston, by the way, he never sees her. He stays up in his room at night with the headphones on, so when the night nanny shows up, he doesn't know. So that's the thing. That's how they justify it. Like, oh, he never even met her.
Yeah.
He's so disconnected. And that was kind of what they were going for.
Exactly. It sort of turns into like a commentary on like disconnected fathers a little bit.
Yeah, a little
which
bit.
I appreciated
But they also didn't go very far with it.
Exactly. Again, this all happens
in the last 10 minutes.
So there's literally no narrative space to actually like explore these issues and make it a more fully realized, would have actually made it a story.
The resolution in the movie is basically
he
like
apologizes and
tries to do better, and it's like such a easy solution.
It's wrapped up in like montage. It's like, okay, cool. It's like, all right.
I appreciate them, on one hand, I appreciate the nuance of just having this reveal just happen and not making a big deal about it, and it just being like, yeah, she got through this crazy month of having a new baby on her own, literally, and like that was her way of dealing with it. Like, I get that, and I think that's interesting, but it doesn't really make up for how slow the movie is, and it's never bad. Let me just get that out of the way. It's not a bad film.
This is very competently made. It's a very, very well acted.
Yeah, the Charlize
Theron kind of gives
she's great,
fantastic performance here.
Well, I kept thinking like, this is coming right off of Atomic Blonde, where she's literally like sexy, using her body to like sell this movie, and then this movie's the complete opposite, where she's got like stretch marks and she's like overweight from having a baby,
well, I
and
think she has a physical transformation not unlike Monster, where she is completely like, I think she gained like 40 or 50 pounds. Like, she went full method, and and like. She it's a great little embodiment. You would almost wish there was more of a story to take her on more of a
journey.
She never really leaves a certain spectrum of her emotion and where she's at.
Yeah, and it's hard to relate to, because once again, like, she is kind of suppressing for us, because we're not older like women that have babies and stuff. So it's like, it's hard to put myself in that situation, but like, she is suppressing a lot of stuff. That's clear, and that is part of. She used a lot of
humanity in it, where she's just like. She's trying to do her best, and it's almost like one of those things where there's so much already there. I would wish that there was more.
Well, yeah, it's definitely a quieter movie that's not really trying to do much. Like, it's not trying to make a huge, grandiose point. It's just kind of like, this is how this woman's dealing with this point in her life.
Yeah.
She's figured it out. She acknowledges that it's what's going on. Like, she knows. That's the thing that you don't know the whole movie, is that she knows that that's her. Like, she's not like in denial. It's just like she never really admits it, and at the end she knows she has to let go. So there is this kind of like, it's a coping mechanism. Once again, I appreciate that there's that realism of like, in real life there's not always a grandiose finale. It just ends. It's like, okay, I gotta get my shit together and get back to normalcy. But once again, this is a movie, so you kind of expect more.
Exactly. Yeah, I think all of these issues are just this turn happening too late. We never get to see the actual getting our shit together and getting better, the growth.
Yeah.
We never see that. The movie is way too one note. Like going back to how I wish this, with this level of performance that's already happening here, you would wish you had more of that breath of drama to sort of go. But she's just in this lane the whole time.
The worst thing that Ron Livingston does is he's playing Gears of War with headphones on in his room. So it's like, all the stakes here are very low. Like, you never have that. Even if he would have found out earlier, it still would have kind of been like, okay, well then, the ending is kind of realistic, because it's like, he would just apologize and do better. Like, he wasn't.
And she even acknowledges how hard he works, and like, he does care, and like,
it's not like he's just fucking off.
He's not mean to her. Like, they have a good dynamic, and that shows like they are like friendly with one another.
Right, and I think that was kind of the point, was that like, even though he's working a full job,
bad of a guy.
He's not malicious, but like, being a mom is a full-time job, like 24/7, whereas he clocks in and then clocks out.
Exactly. And he's not like picking up the slack basically at home, where she's on where she's.
But they definitely could have done more with that. It's all there. It's just like
too much in the background.
We get it. Like, there's nothing like new or amazing being like revealed here. about the human nature or anything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. There are a couple things. So, Jason Reitman has a sort of mixed filmography, right? He's
start off with Juno,
right? Juno with
Which
the writer
great
of
movie.
Great movie, yeah. The writer of this film as well, Diablo Cody.
Mm-hmm.
He also did Up in the Air, which is a highly acclaimed George Clooney, Anna Kendrick, where she was nominated for an Oscar. Then you also have Young Adult, which is the first him, Diablo Cody, Charlize Theron, which has her in another like out of the box role. She's like sort of like a 30-something returning to her hometown.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. Like, I enjoy that. But then you have Men, Women, and Children, which is, I don't know if you've seen it or not.
No.
Rough stuff. Rough stuff.
Not very good?
Not very good. It basically plays like a prestige Oscar bait Lifetime movie with the same amount of subtlety. It's like, ooh, more technology and like this social issue, like really, but really base and like it sort of doesn't really, and it never finds its footing and just feels wrong-headed the whole time.
Well, and this movie doesn't feel like it's trying too hard to do anything. I think that's one of the problems with this. It's not trying to get Oscar bait.
It never goes off the rails.
No, it's very reined in. And Charlize Theron, I could see her being nominated for an Oscar for this, but I don't think she'd win because there's nothing that she's doing that's so powerful that will make you be like, wow, that's so great.
Yeah, there's no overarching sort of story here where you would actually take this performance on a journey. Yeah. So.
But yeah, there's honestly very little to talk about this movie. There's nothing here. Like, it's very.
Yeah.
What we've said is what there is. It's Charlize Theron being a mom for 90 minutes and kind of dealing with that.
Yeah.
So let's go on to final thoughts, Ben. Final thoughts on Tully.
It's a interesting character piece. Of a film, a slice of life film. I think we nailed that a lot. Not a lot of progression here, though, which is disappointing for the amount of, what this director and actor combo could bring to the table. It's sort of disappointing to how low narrative heights it has aspirations for. It does have an interesting message about modern day motherhood and an appreciation for the work that moms do and what it means to be a full-time mom, where someone who my mom, was at home most of my life, so it's like a lot of stuff I can appreciate. But then it has rumblings of an interesting story about disconnected fathers and trying to be a better partner and stuff, but it never goes there, which is really ultimately kind of disappointing. But otherwise, competently made. I'd say 5 baby bottles out of 10. Has higher aspirations but never does more than the required minimum. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, I agree with a lot of what you said. This movie, Tully, I think it is probably relatable to people that have lived through situations like this. Mm-hmm. For me, it's not relatable at all, and it's just kind of slow. It's not a bad movie, but I literally fell asleep for about 20 minutes, and I didn't really miss anything at all. It's very stagnant, and it's just very kind of dull. It's well acted. All the performances are great. Ron Livingston, Charlize Theron. The kids are all pretty good.
Excuse me.
I can't really recommend this. I'll never watch it again, and it's just not really my cup of tea. I'd have to give Tully 6 gaming headsets out of 10, just because I thought the performances were good, and it's not, nothing bad here. It's just
definitely not a theater movie.
Nothing to get excited about.
This is something to watch on Netflix or something at home when you can just check it out. This is nothing. You need to make the effort to go see in a theater by any stretch.
If you can pause this and go to the bathroom, or even just take a break,
on cable,
watch it a few nights in a row. It's worth watching, but don't rush out to see this. Kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because I like Juno a lot.
Yeah, and this movie did have a fair amount of hype going in, as well. But it's a big star and.
Well, and I think that
twist release date.
That twist could be enough to get people oh, this is really great. never see this twist coming, and it just kind of comes and goes. It's like, all right.
Yeah, and it's, again, they never do more than they really have to.
No, it's a boring twist. So yeah, that's been Tully. Next week, keep an eye out for the next episode of Westworld, of course, and hopefully that Melissa McCarthy movie isn't the only thing playing, because I think that's what we're going to have to review.
Have to be what we have to choke down for you guys.
So, yeah. Look forward to that as well next Wednesday. And
I think we have to make, so we never get accused of being cop-outs or anything, I think we have, I Feel Pretty was our walkout, was our pass.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm not going to.
And we have to, I think we have to do ourselves.
Our due diligence.
Our loyal audience, our due. Give you guys our best and sit through that whole shit pile.
Yeah, we'll watch that.
We'll take the brunt for you guys.
So, yeah, this has been a review. I'm Scott.
I'm Ben.
Thanks for listening.